If you knew half the things I think about, would you leave? If I could share exactly what goes into my mind, guarantee you probably wouldn't want to hang out with me. No, I'm serious. Like, I go deep. Sometimes my thoughts are so dark. Can you handle them? I don't think so. I think that's the way quite a few people feel, you know? They think that they have these thoughts and they can go dark and twisty really quick. And in fact, like, you know, I hang out with my wife and I will preface my conversation sometimes with her like, "Hey, uh, man, I had a dark and twisty thought." And I used to not be able to say that. I used to not be able to be like, "Hey, it can go really dark really quick." The thing is it takes practice to get there, to really tell people what you think, how you feel. Now, it's not we're not going like rude and maybe or unkind, but maybe. Can you handle it? Can the other person handle it? Can you handle it? See, honesty and vulnerability on two of the same tokens here on the like you have honesty over here and vulnerability over here, and they're both similar in some ways and some capacity, but honestly, like when it comes to vulnerability, expressing your true feelings, a lot of us are afraid of rejection. Men especially are afraid to be rejected for how they truly feel about a situation. Well, welcome to your weekly win podcast. My name is Randall Burris, and I'm so glad you're here. Man, this is episode 11, and we're gonna have fun today because this episode is one of my favorites, or this topic rather is one of my favorites. And I can't wait to dive in because I have so much to say about it. And I'm so excited about it. And I'm recording right now at 6:51 a.m. and no one is awake, and I'm awake and I'm alive. And it is a beautiful day outside because in Tulsa, Oklahoma this morning is going to be like, oh, today's supposed to be like 84 degrees, which is unheard of in the month of, wow, is it the 31st? Is that really what my watch is right this time? Okay, it is the 31st, guys. I'm excited. It's August. It's July 31st, and it's 84 degrees. Anyway, let's dig in. Uh, if you have not if you've not been with us this whole time, we're on episode 11, and we have been going through my new book, Couples Prayer Guide, that was released. Well, it's kind of new. It was released on May 23rd. But listen, my new book, Couples Prayer Guide, is available on Amazon. If you just look up Couples Prayer Guide, Randall Burris, you'll find this beautiful little book right here with with a couple on it. It's a 30-day devotional plan for Christian marriages. And what it is designed to help you do is to pray with your spouse. And it's really good. It has a devotional which we're going through for the next well, we're on day 11, so for the remainder of the time we're going to go through this book together. That way you have some sort of audio or visual to go through it and have some better insight on some things, better eyes on something. But yeah, go get it. It's $12.50. If you can't afford $12.50, you can go to my website at randallbriss.com and download the ebook. All right, here we go. We always start out with scripture. So we're going to be in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 25. It says, therefore, putting away lying, let each one of you speak truth with his neighbor, for we are members of one another. Ho ho ho. Ho. That's awesome. Okay. So, here we go. Honesty is the foundation of trust. All right? But vulnerability, sharing your fears, your dreams, and your weaknesses takes courage. All right? So, listen to that. Honesty is the foundation of trust, but vulnerability, by sharing your fears, your dreams, and your weaknesses, takes courage. Many men struggle with holding back, fearing judgment or rejection. Now, how far do I want to take this? Because the reason why men want or choose an affair, the reason why men choose a sexual relationship is this one little statement right here. Holding back they fear judgment. They fear rejection. So therefore they go get it where they don't get rejected. Listen, my counselor years ago, I'm gonna give you a good value set here. My counselor years ago called it 3 I's: incompetence, impotence, and insignificance. And whenever those 3 I's are not being hit on or met in a man's life, that's where he goes and dives into his addiction. Okay? So for instance, am I feeling significant? No. Why am I not feeling significant? Because uh, you know, because anytime I come in the house, no one seems to care about, what I think and what all this kind of stuff, or whatnot, or I'm not competent enough in my job to perform in the way that my boss wants me to perform. I don't know how to. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to change my oil in my car. I don't know how to go hunting. Right. I don't know how to fish. It's just one of those things like incompetence. You don't know. Impotence. You don't know, like, I'm not that important. Why would anyone choose me to be a leader of a small group? Like, and then all of a sudden, those 3 I's are being tapped into. And when those aren't being met, when significance isn't being met or competence, then, man, I tell you, the man dives in deep. This is where, hey, you know where I can feel significant? I can open up my laptop and I can go to certain websites that allow me to have the power and choose to see what kind of woman I want to fantasize with, kind of thing. Right? It's free. I can do it. Come on, let's go. I can go to the strip joint. They do it. They do it over there. They don't care what I look like. I'll just go to the strip joint and I have the power to do that, whatever it is. Guys, this is, I'm being honest. This is such a a good topic to talk about, and we're going to lay it on thick a little bit today. So just be prepared. If you're watching in your car, awesome. Just hone in and listen. If you're sitting down watching this, thank you. we're gonna go into this. It is 7 o'clock, and I brought my coffee in. So here we go. Ephesians Ephesians calls us to speak truthfully as members of one body. In marriage, this means being transparent about your feelings, even when it's uncomfortable. Now, I used to have a hard time with this. I used to have a hard time telling my wife what I truly feel and think. And there's some very little, mind you, now, very little. I still think that at times, but we've grown to love and enjoy one another. We've grown deep. We've went through some hard times together to the point to where like I'm not afraid of that anymore. Right now, there's a difference between unkindness and rudeness and being honest. Okay, and we'll get to that here in a little bit. But the it in marriage, this means being transparent about what you're really feeling, because it it's good to have someone next to you to tell you like I feel angry. I feel sad about this situation. Now, previous episodes, we've talked about the feelings wheel, and we've talked about how men have a hard time identifying what they truly feel. Okay. Now, if you've taken that episode before and and implemented it, and just to brush you up on it, there's a feelings wheel. You've got to learn how to identify your feelings. Here's the thing. I used to not be able to do that. I couldn't tell you if I was sad, angry, mad, happy, whatever. I could not tell you. My response to, "Hey, how's it going?" was good. How are you? But good is not a feeling. I'm doing all right. That's not a feeling. Today's a good day. That's not a feeling. Are you angry right now? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you tired? Like what are you? What are you feeling? And be honest about it. Man, a few years ago when we were going through our therapy, our marriage counseling, I was not happy most of the time. I was angry. I was worried. I was mad, not at my wife, but at me. I was angry because why was I sitting in this counselor's chair? I knew the answer, and I was mad at the reason that I knew the answer. I was mad at how I got there and what brought me there. Here's the truth, guys. You have to be honest about where you're at in your life. If you don't like where you're at with your life, be honest about it. I don't like it. This sucks. My life right now is not what I envisioned it. My life right now is not exactly the way that I painted it. Stop acting like all your crap's together. Like quit acting like everything is in its pieces the way that you want it to be. And maybe you are. Maybe you did have maybe your life is perfect. Who knows? Maybe you man, I just picture some southern roll tide guy who uh got married pretty young, had a down payment on his house. His parents helped him with his down payment, and his parents helped him with his college stuff, and now they're taking pictures. They just gotten married, and they just uh, got the keys to their new home, nice brick home. They're taking a picture in front of it, and they're smiling, and it looks like they have it all together. He's wearing his roll tide stuff, and the looks like they got it together, man. Like the Facebook photo looks great. Man, it looks great. They're smiling. Looks like, man, that's a good couple, right? And then 5 years rolls down, and they've had a kid, and they're sharing pictures, everything, and all this kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, it all crumbles. It all crumbles. Finds out he's not been faithful. Not once, not twice. More than 3 times. And his wife finds out about it. Yeah. What looked to be so perfect. What looked to be so nice on the Facebook post, in the photos, and the smiles. Guys, don't let it fool you. Men out there are good charmers. Ask me how I know. We know how to charm our way. We know how to compartmentalize our lives so much that we can be one place somewhere else and then a whole nother person on somewhere else. You can be his awesome church guy, and then you can go home and act like a douchebag, and everything's fine. Listen, it's time to be vulnerable and honest about where you're at in your life. And then on top of that, and this is really not necessarily for this podcast, but you need to figure out, you need to paint your picture. You need to figure out the plan to get where you want to go. You need to go, you need to plan where you're going to go. Last night I popped up on a live, and I was testing the live out, and I shared a video, and the guy's like, the destination is not, important. The journey is the most important. And yes, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. But you need some sort of goal. You need some sort of goal. How are you going to enjoy the journey if you don't have a destination? You better have a destination in mind. You better have some sort of end goal in mind. And then with that end goal in mind, you enjoy the journey. Don't look at the end goal because you'll get tired really quick. Enjoy the journey to that end goal. Man, I can't wait to be a grandpa. I can't wait for my kids to grow up to know the Lord. They're all in church. My grandkids are at church. They love spending time together on their own, but they love coming to grandpa and grandma's house. I think I want to be called granddad. Granddad. My granddad was granddad, so I kind of want to be granddad. And then I don't know what does LB want to be, like Mama LB or Nana LB? I don't know. But I can't wait for that. My goal is that all my kids know the Lord, and they get married, and they have other kids who love the Lord and get married, and it's just a big megaphone, okay, for the gospel, for the kingdom. That's my goal. And here's the thing: I can't wait for that to happen. It's amazing. I would love to see that happen, and that's my goal. However, I am not married to that. I'm not clinging on to that. I've got a journey here to cross, right? I've got to make up my I've got to walk this journey. I can't think about that. I mean, it's in my back of my mind, but I have to enjoy it now. So I still have to wipe butts. I still have to put jammies on the kids. Still have to wash their clothes, do dinner, pick up the yard, take them to the pool, do Christmas, Thanksgiving. Like that journey is what's amazing. Okay, so I've got to figure out in my life, where do I want my life? What do I want my life to be? How do I want to operate my life? If I'm not happy with it, change it. But communicate that with your spouse. Communicate that. Babe, I'm not happy the way this is going. The trajectory of our family stinks, and we need to change it. I know that's a hard conversation for some. I made it sound easy, but it might be hard for you. It's uncomfortable being transparent about your feelings. I get it. I understand. Reflect on a time you hid your true thoughts from your spouse. Reflect on the time you did that. You hid what you truly felt. Perhaps about a worry of some kind or disappointment. You know, I still do this in times. Like, let's ask me, what did you think about that? Nah, you don't know you don't know what I want to think. You don't know what I'm gonna be. No, I'm just gonna keep my thoughts to myself. What stopped you from sharing that? What stopped you? See, I think a lot of times vulnerability builds intimacy, and it's allowing your spouse or you to know and love the real you. A lot of you don't the wife doesn't know the real you. Where's the real you at, man? Have you been able to get that dirty before? That raw before? I am so proud, and I am going to brag just a little bit. I am so proud that my wife and I can be brutally honest with each other now. Not brutally rude, not brutally unkind, but brutally honest. Like it, it comes down to the point where, like, you know, we've been through the darkest of times. So what else is there? We might as well, right? We might as well go through the vulnerability. What I truly think, because I mean, literally, like I can tell her anything, even if it is unkind and rude. I can still tell her anything. I know, I know without a shadow of a doubt she can handle it because she's handled the worst. Now, some of you may not have that luxury. I get it. I get it. You've been faithful. Praise the Lord. That's good. You've been true to your word. That's awesome. I applaud you on that. You don't need my story. Please don't follow my story. Please don't. Keep faithful. This is why I'm here, to help you keep faithful. Yes, am I here for the men who have burnt it all down to the ground? Yes, amen. But I'm also here for you, man. I want you to win. I want you to win, man. Like really win. And here's the thing. Like yeah, some of you've never went through anything hard in your marriage yet. I get it. You're still trying to get to know each other. You're trying to know each other and love each other, and it's all new. And you don't know how much each other can handle. You thought you did whenever you're engaged, and now you're married. Now's the time to practice that vulnerability. Now's the time to practice that honesty. Because if you don't, it's going to burn you. If you are addicted to pornography, this is the time for you to confess. Hey, I'm struggling with ... Now, earlier is the better. Like, let's be brutally honest. And if she can go, if he can go through the darkest of dark with you, that's where the marriage shines. Guys, I never asked for my life like the way that I did things. I I grew up in um a really bad dysfunctional family, and it wasn't good at all. Like, I saw some things that I never should have ever seen in my life. Like, I look back and I'm like, how did I get here? Like, how did I, Lord, did you really did you really save me? Like, this is, I can't believe, uh if my kids saw even a quarter of the things I saw in my life, like, oh my gosh, I'd feel sad for them, like super sad. Sometimes I have to like pull myself out of my body and look at Burris and like, man, I feel sorry for you, but I saw some. I've seen some things, and you have too. You have too. And here's the thing: is like vulnerability builds intimacy. Allowing your spouse to know and to love the real you. Jesus was vulnerable. Sharing his pain and his anguish in Gethsemane in Matthew chapter 26:38, to the point where he was sweating blood. He was absolutely vulnerable. Consider a moment in when your spouse opened up to you. Okay, consider that moment. How did it strengthen your bond between each other? Did it pull you guys apart, or did it make you closer together? I can share a handful of times where I've shared with my wife some, like, we've shared some close things together. And because we've shared those close things together, we were like, oh, wow, we're really not alone in this world. Like, we both think crazy thoughts. we can we can think crazy thoughts together. Yay. Yes, it produces it produces a tight grip on your marriage when you're vulnerable. Okay, honesty, and this is where I wanted to go with this. Honesty does not mean brutal criticism. Now, I need to preach this to myself because sometimes I can be a brutal critic. Sometimes I can be so mean in my approach, and Lord forgive me. I can be pretty brutal, but this is a time when you're being vulnerable and honest. It's sharing with kindness and humility. See, being a man is not all about being brutal. It is not all about being rude. There are times for that. Okay. But also being a man means the sharing with kindness and love and humility. That's the strength of a man. Practical steps include scheduling time to talk about like these deeper issues, these deeper topics, starting with like, I've been feeling like I've been feeling ... or I'm struggling with ... fear of conflict or past hurts can hinder your openness. So pray for courage. Pray for a safe space to share with one another. Because a lot of times, like, there's a lot of things that I don't that have come up against within our time being married that I fear conflict if I approach her with something like that. This is the main reason why we don't share. We're afraid that we will hurt our spouse's feelings. And maybe we will. Or maybe we won't. Maybe they can handle it. Okay? So release the fear, release the rejection, release that fear. The fear of like you're going to have conflict in this world. Best exercise possible is just go up to her and just say, "Hey, I have something really hard to tell you. You may not like it or you may enjoy it, but I want to share some truth with you this morning. Are you okay with that?" Like you really have to ask when's a good appropriate time for it, right? Because you don't want to ask in her luteal phase. You don't want to come with you want her strong. You want her in her guys, yes. We should all know what the luteal phase is. If you don't, maybe I'll do a podcast on it to teach men what the phases of a woman are. So you may I bet you know what? That might be the top podcast on this episode. Teaching men the phases of a woman. Anyway, catch her in her strong time. And vulnerability is a two-way street, guys. Both must commit to honesty without judgment. How can you foster a marriage where truth and love coexist? How can you foster a marriage where truth and love coexist? Lord, give us courage to be honest and vulnerable. Let our transparency strengthen our bond, our friendship, our marriage. Amen. All right. I have a question for you. Is there something I've been hesitant to share that I can open up about? Is there something I've been hesitant to share that I can open up about? That's a question for you. Is there something I've been hesitant to share that I could open up about? Guys, I can go on and on about this, but I am going to hold it because listen, I'm rabbit trailing really hard right now because there's so much that I want to say about that. And I can't because I got to keep it on a time limit because this is the way the cookie crumbles and we got to get out of here. All right, let's get out of here.